What's up, guys? It's John at National Sports Entertainment. And per usual, I wanted to recap tonight and go into tomorrow. Tomorrow we have some interesting plays. Not a lot of college, which is rare for a Saturday, but we got some tournaments going on. We have mostly hockey plays tomorrow, and I like the XFL games. But tonight we did good. Last night, technically. If you follow my system, if you've been following my channel for almost a year now, or if you've been following it since the new one, or if you've been following for a day, pretty quickly you'll see how, the system works. The goal here is when we make it to a third leg here, which was we only had one today, Heat playing the Cavs. We want to make sure we close them out, and we've been doing a good job. So we got that. Heat bit us a lot of times this year, but they came through here. I couldn't imagine giving up points. The public would have been on the Heat, so that worked out. We split our leg twos. Really good night in the NBA. I played the narratives, Lakers, Hawks, and our only loss in the NBA was the Wolves didn't cover. Spurs, we almost played as a money line upset. Thought about it, but just stuck to the points. And college was pretty decent, to be honest, as well. Like I said, we got Mid-Tennessee. We did miss the Grand Canyon under and the Maryland over, but overall 8-5, good day. Closed 8 sequences and no 3-leg losses, which is great because every sequence we close, again, only got to close 7 to mitigate a 3-leg loss, negate a 3-leg loss. So we have some NBA games tomorrow, but like I said, I wanted to go into what's earlier because the NBA is not until later in the day. And we have some early college games. We have some semi-earlier hockey games. So I just wanted to go into those. And we're playing a couple of them. I wasn't going to play some of these, but I've noticed with hockey, especially on a full schedule, look at all the teams getting minus like 300 or greater. We have at least, I think, 4. We got the Devils are pretty close, but you got the Lightning here at 430. You got Colorado at 430. You got Boston at 355. You got a couple 280s. My point is, you got a minus 200 with the Hurricanes. They're going to pay out some of these. They're not going to pay out more than, I'd say, 30% of these. So that's what I mean by picking my spots. But there are a lot of games I like with hockey. So instead of boring you guys, I'm just going to go straight into it. Like I said, I try not to be redundant, but you have to understand there's a lot of people that watch my channel. It's like their second, third time. And they're just seeing this giant notepad or my Discord, and they might not know what's going on. So I like anyone that like it's their first video just to understand what I'm doing. So what happened was all the ones with W's is 1 unit. Okay, that's a unit profit. We played to win 1 unit. And all the ones with L's, this one's a W now. We lost, so we inserted leg 2 for 2 units, and if we won, that's a profit. Okay, if it lost, then we're going to go to a leg 3, and it's going to be for 4 units. And then we don't chase after that. That's another distinction. We don't just keep chasing. If we lose 3 in a row, we close it out and move on. So we have a couple leg 2s to plug in, and that's why I wanted to show you guys. So the first play I like, it's not the first one, it just happens to be first on this list here is, let's see, Guardians covering the Roughnecks. The XFL, they have now officially opened a spread, meaning they have an against the spread metric. Now, we're only a few weeks in, but there are teams that are 0-3, 3-0 against the spread. And I just, again, yes, it's limited teams, but the way they match up the numbers, especially with the amount of games in this season, I don't see a team going 90% on the spread. XFL could be an outlier to the other leagues. We're going to see. That's why I'm not making anything crazy. But again, it's also a public psychological thing where somebody sees a team's covering and another team's not, and they think it's real. They're going to take the team that's covering. So it's only a couple weeks in, but I got the Guardians covering the Roughnecks. As I said before with that, always do your best to get the ESPN closing line here. So you can see that it's 8.5. I'm not saying lock it in at 6.59, but it might move to 10. It could move to 7. You don't know which way it's going to move. But since it's a metric line, and ESPN's always the one that these team ranking sites go off of, I try and get it as close to the closing line as I can. Just wanted to, again, a little tidbit if you haven't followed my channel, that's been working. Guardians cover Roughnecks. So that's my first leg 2 that I like. And we can get deeper into it. Like, for example, a lot of times I'll do a contingency. Guardians cover Roughnecks. If they don't, then I would make the Renegades leg 3. I believe they play in that order. Or it would be technically, the Renegades leg 3. But they play on separate days, and just to make it easier for people on YouTube, we're going to plug them both in as leg 2s, okay? But there's nothing wrong with doing it the other way. Guardians leg 2, and then you could basically just hope to split the XFL, and we do that a lot. But just to make it easier, Renegades I like to cover. We'll plug that in for the Wolves loss, and UAB did not go under. We're going to plug in the Guardians cover there, okay? Now we got the Panthers covering the Jets, and here's where it gets nice. We've hit a lot of plus hockey. I think we're at 12 now, maybe 13. And we haven't played a lot. So it's not like we've only played, it's not like we've played, hundreds of hockey plays. We've probably played about 50 hockey plays, maybe. And of the 25 to 30 we've won, half of them have been plus odds because I'm only taking even odds. I'm only taking over-unders or ones like this where we're going to get plus odds. Now, we haven't hit a leg 2 for plus odds yet. It just, I'm trying, I'm plugging them in, but it's just the ones we're hitting are always on leg 1. So let's hope we get a couple leg 2s here. I'm playing a few more to enhance our chances, but we don't want a bunch heading to leg 3 here. So I do like the numbers on Panthers cover Jets. I don't see people swarming it, and 185 is a modest line. It's not like these, these plus 250s that they're not going to get paid out that often. So I do like the Panthers cover Jets. That's one of the hockey plays I do like. And then as far as let's see, I'm going to run, I decided I was going to make one a leg 1, one a leg 2, but I've noticed for some reason, it's probably just like flipping a coin. When I play the over-under on a game and I play the cover, we split them very, very often. So I decided just make them both leg 2s. As you can see, I have to start scrolling higher and higher because what happens, again, is... That was a loss. What happens is I've basically closed all of the sequences we've ever started. So that's why we don't have as many leg 3s. That's why you'll see we'll have a couple days where we'll be down a couple days because I'm basically running all of our leg 3s in those days. So those are the days we're going to lose 7 units if we lose. But as you can see, it's taken me a while to find as I'm plugging in leg 2s, just because we're closing them at a really high rate. So, not trying to, toot my own horn, just trying to show you guys why the system works. So you can see I got the Oilers Leafs going under. That one I'm just leaving as a leg 1. I also have the Canucks and Senators going under. Same logic. Canucks, Oilers, 2 of the top teams on the over. Just think it'll get slammed. So those both, I'm picking the under. And I do like the Sharks to beat the Wild. Just a straight up win. We're going to make that one a leg 1. Now watch, that one will hit and the other one won't. That's what I mean. It's just I've plugged in all the wrong leg 2s for hockey, but it's all right. Sharks beat Wild. I like this one because the Wild, I don't think they're getting great numbers, where people are going to be slamming them here. Like the Sharks, I mean. The numbers just... The Sharks, I think that their numbers way more appealing to take the Wild minus the 1.5. Looking at the records of them, looking at how the Wild have been against the spread. So I think the Sharks money line holds way more value than the Wild minus 1.5. So the Wild might win by exactly a goal, but I like the Sharks to win. So we'll make that a leg 1 because we don't want too many leg 2s going at the same time. Because again, then all that does is make it where we might have a couple leg 3s going at the same time. Now speaking of leg 3, you see I got the Wings covering the Bruins next. This is what I mean by it's nice if a hockey plus odds hits at a leg 2 or leg 3, because actually as we increase the units from 1 to 2 to 4, we would actually increase our net gain with hockey. So of course we want to win every one on the first leg, just close it out, get our cash. But if it does go to a leg 2 or 3, that's why it's nice that's why I'm plugging in hockey for some of them on leg 2s, because it'd be nice to get a plus 185 on a leg 2. That's almost 4 units. So anyway, net units, I mean. So here we got Sharks, and then I got the Red Wings winning. Now, yeah, 305. Are they likely to pay that out? Probably not. But the Bruins have been really good. I don't think people would expect back-to-back losses, and it's only going to be a leg 1. So the good part of playing it as leg 1 is if it loses, we still have 2 more legs to work with, and we're getting 3 units here if we hit it on a leg 1. So it's paying almost as well as a leg 3, which is awesome. So yeah, it's I like it as a leg 1. Then we got Penguins cover Flyers. This one I'm gonna make a leg 2, just because I think it's ugly. So if I think it's ugly, like if I'm looking at it and I'm like, then that tells me that there's probably a lot of other people that think it's ugly too, and they're not racing to play it. So the Flyers are the absolute best team against the spread this year. And to take the Pens minus a goal and a half, you're only getting exactly even odds. It's between minus 110 and minus 115. So it's exact even odds with juice. So I think it's a great take. I thought about making it a leg 3. I just for the value, I'm very big on value. So for the leg 3, it's not worth it. But I do like it as a leg 2, just because I think it's a good play. Again, I don't think people are going to, if anything, people are going to slam the Flyers on the money line. I don't think they're going to slam, or even the Flyers with the 1.5. I don't think people are going to slam Penguins here minus 1.5. So I like that play a lot as a leg 2. And then only leaves a few left. We have Grand Canyon / X under. No, that's not Xavier. It's just algebra. So I don't know who they're playing yet. I presume it's obviously one of the winners from tonight, but they are playing tomorrow in the tournament. And Grand Canyon, as they went over again today, they went over the day before. So I just don't think they continue to go over. I'm not saying they can't. And again, you can plug this in for, this is a later game. It's like 10 o'clock. So you can plug this in for one that loses tomorrow, okay? You don't have to do what I'm doing. And I'm doing this for 2 reasons. One, because it's like a video game. You don't want to run through the levels, and then next thing you know, you get to the end and all the minions catch up to you. And that's what happens if we don't make sure we close out all of our sequences. That's why I'll go back to make sure there's no hanging chads. Secondly, just so you can see my exact picks. So if someone wants to say, hey, you're really up, over 100 units, yeah, check the playlist. And they're going to see everyone exactly as we did them. And that, it's just because maybe it's the autism, but I'm very meticulous that way. Just because I see some of these other channels and how sneaky they are. And they don't even hide it. They edit their stuff. They do all this, they edit their posts. They all that crap. I like to make it as, in live time as possible, so everybody can start tailing with micro amounts, which is what a lot of people have done. They just literally copy and paste my picks, and then they can just start rolling on their own. So that's the reason. I know it's a little redundant, and I'm sorry if you watch all these videos and you're like, I know, I get it by now. Pretty soon, and what I might start doing in the Discord is for people that really don't understand the system, I'll go into deeper detail. I can make some exclusive channels. I have no problem with that, because I don't want to have to do this every video. But I'm buried so much by YouTube right now that I'm getting a lot of random people being recommended, which is great. But I totally understand if your first video watching me is episode 134 and you don't really know what my channel's about. So again, we know it's rigged, we know it's scripted, we know the public's going to go a certain way, and I just basically bet against that. So my final play, and again, as you can see, all these plays are just metric plays. When I go into the NBA tomorrow, like I did today, again, we went 5-1. Doesn't mean, anything crazy. There's days we've gone 1-5. But I think it's because, I think the reason I do so well or so bad with the NBA is because I'm onto something as far as, if certain teams win, then other teams aren't going to lose. Vice versa. Just because it would keep too many teams too far apart. Whether it's teams like the Magic, whether it's teams like the Pacers, they just need to stay in it. So anyway, that's why I think we did good with the NBA. But then there's days where I have a team losing, so then I have another team winning on contingent of that, and they both, it goes the opposite. So I think we have a good day tomorrow. Now, our only leg 3 is X covers Cal State Fullerton. So literally whoever is playing them, once that spread opens, I'm just going to lock it in as a leg 3. I don't care who it is. I don't care what because there's no team that's going to be. I've looked at the other teams against the spread. Even the second highest covering isn't really close to Cal State full right now, Fullerton. So yeah, I like X, whoever that may be. You guys might know already. That's going to be leg 3. We're going to take them just to cover. So whoever, like I said, we'll know that pretty soon. Just wait pretty close to the opening game because they're going to move the line a little bit. So, whatever the line moves to a couple hours before the game, lock it in, should be no problem. So the only X's we have again is whoever's going to play Cal State Fullerton. I'm just fading Cal State Fullerton on leg 3. And we're just going with Grand Canyon X to go under here for leg 2. And again, that one, these all just get plugged in for leg 1 losses, like I just showed you. So we plug them all in, and I don't want to be redundant. I just want to make sure, basically, you guys see exactly what I do and what I've been doing. And this, you'll see, this covers, the last couple days too. Hawks, Blazers, that was, I think, 2 days ago. So it's funny how many plays we get in gosh, just even 3-4 days. But as you see, the more plays we get in, it just works out better. Better chance of hitting plus odds. I almost played Ohio State to win. I was very close to doing that. So if there's an extra one that you're looking for, I was going to take Ohio State to straight up win. They're getting 7 points against, who are they playing? Purdue. And I don't know why. I just thought I liked it. But I'm not playing that one. But if you guys want to just take an extra one, or one that you're like, I could use another plus odds, I'm not really a hockey fan, whatever the case may be, then I would definitely, and here, yeah, okay, so Grand Canyon, Seattle, that was before, here we go. I think Ohio State can definitely win that game. So nothing crazy, they're getting about plus 250, but I think it could be worth the value. So here's our plays tomorrow. Again, we're going to have a lot. Don't forget about the 2 XFL ones I told you about in the beginning, just because, again, they don't show it here, I don't think. Let's see if they do. Yeah, they don't show it here. But there is a website where they show the against the spread. You guys could find it, the against the spread record. So that's the reason I'm going with those, is just because of the against the spread records. And I'm not making it a leg 3 because, like I said, we're quite early into the season. So this early into the season, I don't want to go and do that. The NFL, for example, the Falcons started off 7-0, I believe it was, against the spread. So it's very likely that some of these XFL teams will start off like that as well. And in the college basketball, UConn started like 10-0 against the spread. So, again, I know it's redundant, but this is, for me, the best way to just show everybody, again, like if it's your first time seeing my video, how I come about my picks. Nothing crazy. These are all metrics. And I just plug them in, Guardians cover, Renegades cover, all for losses. UAB, Wolves. Do I expect to win every one of these and never lose a leg 3? No. But that's why the system works, because it's all about money management, metrics, discipline, and understanding we only have to win 7 sequences for a 3-leg loss. So only one leg 3 so far tomorrow. That's just Cal State Fullerton being covered. We went 1-0 tonight again with the Heat, last night with the Heat covering. And we usually do pretty good with leg 3s because I try and save the best picks for them. Doesn't always work. You get your Tulsas, you get your Mavs games. But for the most part, we do well with leg 3s. So I will have the NBA out earlier. I know they start a little bit earlier. I'll try and have it out by no later than noon, which will give people about 5 hours to make even the first pick. So take care, everybody, and happy earnings.